Thank you very much, Mr. President. You're going to have to bear with me because this may be a little difficult at times. Mr. President, I returned from my first semester in Leningrad at the end of 1988 and joined the Yale Russian Chorus. The Russian Chorus, which is about to celebrate its 70th anniversary next year, has sung through some very dark times, and it sings music of Russia, of Ukraine, of Georgia, Latvia, a lot of the former Soviet republics, and sings in Church Slavonic. It has been touring regularly in those parts of the world since 1958, when it was the first American cultural group on private initiative to go to the Soviet Union. I joined just before the 35th anniversary, and Mr. President, then have sung with the chorus forever since then. In 1990, I went on tour with the chorus just after I graduated from college, and we visited Kiev, in addition to to Moscow and St. Petersburg and Tbilisi. And you know, my biggest recollection was the roses, honestly, from that tour. They were in glorious bloom at that time. I also remember vividly getting to go to the Kievo-Pecherskaya Lavra, the Monastery of the Caves in Kiev, which is one of the holiest places for Orthodoxy. It's a place where the monks have lived and kept a community going for more than 1,000 years, and we sing some of their music, perhaps not inappropriately a setting of Psalms 1 and 2. Blessed is the one who walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, for God knows the ways of the righteous, and the ways of the wicked shall perish. Blažen muž, it's called. Mr. President, on that tour as well, I got to meet the folks in the Moscow State University choir and developed a friendship. When I returned in 1990 and 1991 and lived in Moscow, I developed a friendship with another second tenor, a man named Igor Yelevenko, who was from Kiev. And he took me to Ukraine for my first real visits there. I got a chance with his family to travel around to Lviv in western Ukraine, to Dnepropetrovsk, and around Kiev. We went kayaking on the Psyl River, and another vivid memory for me is picking fresh apricots off the tree as we were kayaking down the river. When I got a fellowship in the summer after my first year in law school from the Harvard Project on Economic Reform in Ukraine to go work on decollectivization of collective farms in newly Nezalezhna Ukraina, independent Ukraine, I was privileged to spend 4 months living with my friend Igor and his family there, right on the main boulevard Khreshchatyk in downtown Kiev. And that was a magical time full of hope and promise as a people who had been in the middle of all sorts of great powers that would come sweeping through their land, killing their people, destroying their institutions, as they were looking forward to independence, to freedom, and to a chance to write their own destiny. Mr. President, it just makes me heartsick to see what is happening to those brave and proud people these days. And I don't know, you know, for folks who live here, it seems like they're two obviously different tribes, Russians and Ukrainians, and maybe it's like conflicts that we've heard of in other parts of the world where they're at each other's throats for hundreds of years, and why should we get in the middle of this? It's hard to draw an analogy. I've been wrestling with this for the last few days, but it's as if Washington went to war with Oregon. People go back and forth across the border with great ease. When I was living at Moscow State University, the Kievsky Vokzal, the Kiev train station, was nearby. And there was almost nothing easier than to go get a ticket, get on an overnight train, and wake up the next morning in Kiev. And the amount of commerce, of people moving back and forth, the number of families who have folks on both sides of that very porous border is astounding. And the fact that those people are now in a position of fighting with each other is shocking in 2022. Mr. President, I think we had all believed and hoped that we had left that part of our world behind, part of our history behind. Mr. President, I want to come back to the Russian chorus, and I would be at risk of going on for an hour, and I have a lot of things that I want us to get done today. But I do want to share a song that is very, I'm not going to sing it for you, but I'm going to share the poetry with you, both in Ukrainian and in English, because I think it captures both the sadness, the utter familiarity of this situation, and the hope that I believe a lot of Ukrainians are feeling right now. This is a song that we have sung in the Russian chorus for the last 40 years or so. We had a director named Alex Kuzma, a Ukrainian American, who brought this into the repertoire of the chorus. It's called Zirvalasya Hurtavina. So, Zirvalasya Hurtavina topše zbizja na lanu. A storm, a huge cyclone kind of storm, blew up suddenly and trampled down the grain all across the plain. Viriajala mati svого sina na krivavую vinu. A mother equipped her son to go off to the bloody battle. Idi sinu moja ditino, go my son, my little baby. Žorstoki ljuti bi, to the cruel, fierce battle. Vyzvoljati ridnu Ukrajinu, boroniti narid svi. Liberate your native Ukraine. Defend your people. There ensues then a dialogue between the mother and the son. The mother says, "O jak vernešься, mi synu, oh, when you return, my son, tobi zakvičaju cvit kalinu tvi kris. I'm going to weave for you a garland of rowan flowers and place it on your rifle. Ne vernešься, if you don't return. Ticho zaridaju, I will weep quietly. Щоб ніхто не бачив сліз, so that no one can see my tears." The son replies, "Ой, вернуся, моя нене. Oh, I'm going to return, mother. Як калина зацвіте, when the rowan blooms. Принесу я до твоєї хати, and I will bring you to your hut, to your home. Сонце волі золоте, the golden sunshine of freedom." Mr. President, I think it is the hope of all of us that Ukraine will see that golden sunshine of freedom. And so I ask you and all of my colleagues to join in support of Senate Resolution 8662. Thank you.